always screwed up by this. Why is... Wait, if I move the camera over to this end... Oh, okay. It's too far to the... Okay, well, whatever. We're streaming already. Hello, comrades, and welcome to another episode of Under Construction. I already have everything set up because I was worried about being late. We are only 3 minutes behind schedule on this April 25th, 2024. I thought I wrote 25 for a sec. I'm your host. Wait, did I already say that? Okay. Whatever. Not Tetris. Let's let some people filter in. It's another Tollbrand Thursday. Trainz Thursday. It's been so long I cannot remember if that's why we do Trainz on Thursday. Because I liked the alliterative name. Honestly, I'm just not sure. Maybe I did. Oh my god, how did I do that? I like that. If I had to go back and do it all again, would we have Trainz on Thursday? It's likely. Okay, let's move this in here. Can I drop this in like this? Before I got started today, well, I don't want to, it's weird because I don't want to have conversations in this beginning part. And if you're watching the VOD, unless you really like Not Tetris, I encourage you to jump ahead until Not Tetris is done and the stream officially starts. I can't force you to do that or anything, but that's sort of my recommendation. I don't expect this area to be particularly riveting unless you like seeing, Not Tetris and my very overgrown beard. Need to shave my face. Maybe next. No? I thought you were for that. Okay, well, it might happen anyway. Face is itchy, man. I don't know if any of you out there have ever had a beard that's getting unruly, and Gloria likes it, but it's getting old hat. Scratching at my face. Alright. Let's do... Oop. Okay. That isn't exactly what I wanted. Let's just put this over here. We are only getting long ones. Can I drop this? No, I've built a bridge. Help, I've accidentally built a bridge. Can I drop this down into here? No. Well, you know what? At least... Oh. What about putting this right... No? Okay. I mean, we're doing good. We're getting rid of the lines, but we're not getting rid of them in groups. We're not getting rid of them in a way that gets us a lot of points. We are just chipping away at the lines that we have. And on top of that, we have a big gap over there now, and I'm not sure how we're going to fill that in. I like to think that people that pop in and out during this section are not regulars, and they just see, oh, someone that I've never seen streaming before, and they look at it, and they go, what the hell is this? Maybe this is not the, maybe this isn't the play after all. Maybe I'm just confusing potential new viewers. If you're watching this and you have foamy friends, feel free to recommend it to them. Also, feel free to point them and yourself at our website where you can buy our unique steam locomotive trading cards, theironhorseman.com. You can check out that website in the description of this video, as well as some other stuff, including our Discord link, and I think a link to the community channel. That's probably the third thing in there. Also, I keep saying I'm going to release the extended edition, or like the unabridged version of the Bridge Killing Bridge story, and I need to do that. I am just not super happy with how it came out, and I kind of want to re-record it. I just don't know if I can bring myself to do that because of the time that it took, the effort that it took to record it in the first place. It wasn't even that much effort, but it was just, I really hate redoing stuff. I'm a one-take kind of guy. This is why I didn't actually go into acting. We are doing a great job, by the way, of just, like, building this in a way that will not let it collapse. Wow. Alright, I really thought that was going to be the kicker. Nope. What about this right here. No. Oh, we got one, though. We got one. Okay, drop that. And then... Can I... No. I need to start looking ahead a little bit. Because this... That should then drop... Nope. Well, you know what? Kind of close. Okay, that one I think even gave us a little bit of leeway. Wow, we really parked that one. Okay. I feel like I'm saying canned lines. Like, I am an NPC. I assure you folks that I'm real, but if you believe that I am an NPC, then you can believe that. I mean, especially if you only see me, like, you know, for a few hours every Thursday, I wouldn't really blame you. If you watch the other stuff, you can tell how computerized I'm not with how bad I am at Factorio. I really invite everyone to go check out the Factorio series. It's been a lot of fun. It has been a little bit catastrophic in places. Oh, God. And I have definitely done a good job of annoying the people that are very good at the game. And honestly, I'm not really upset about that. I think in the most recent episode I talk about blueprints, I kind of take aim at all the people that are very good at the game. But, you know, there's one, you know, there are a couple of people that I would never besmirch the name of, but these are people that I do not know. So, like, personally, I mean, oh, shoot. You know, once upon a time, I was talking with Heiss about doing a Factorio series. That would have been something. Oh, shoot. The guy has too much to do even outside of Let's Plays, though. Like, his channel is packed with stuff, and that diversity of content, you can only do that once you're, like, already a big deal, right? Because if I were to do all sorts of stuff, which I already do enough all sorts of stuff, but if I was inconsistent even more, like to the max, like had different genres of content going on, then I don't know if anyone would watch at all. That's the thing with subscribers. I know subscribing is old hat, right? People, oh, like, comment, subscribe. There are too many channels that I only watch some of the content from, and so I just, like, can't bring myself to subscribe to, because then my sub box is going to be filled with stuff that I don't care about. And I try to sort of oh god, oh god, oh god. I try to branch out. We were doing so well, and I started panicking. Okay, this is it. This is it. We're done. That was such a good... we had it so good. It was a good start. It was a good middle. Anyway, alright, we're here. It's about 8 minutes in. It's time to work on the railroad. Last time we figured out some area around here, and I'm actually really not unhappy with the way that this is coming out. I'm very pleased with this corner of the world, especially because, as I keep saying, our sort of our storm front of scenery is moving in this direction. So yeah, I mean, it's good. We've got this. We've got. I kind of want to clear some area out so that we have an area where there's just a fence separating. I don't know what that would be. I talked about putting some kind of hospital complex over here, but I'm not sure what that would be. Part of me is thinking, well, hospital complex, they might have their own little power station, but we have our big power station over here, so there's no point in doing that. There's no reason for me to go out of my way and make a second power plant. Maybe once upon a time they had something like that, but when you look at industry, when you look at like a hospital, they're usually not getting anything dropped off that isn't coal. Maybe in the early days, but that's like most of their supplies. They don't need bulk commodities necessarily. Maybe like bulk bandages, right? But I would actually stand to reason that a lot of old hospitals, they might even be manufacturing some stuff on site. So maybe they would be taking bulk commodities in. I mean, what have we got here? We've got, this is supposed to be a meat packing plant, right? This is a Ameren meat packing plant, Ameren meat plant. And we have the FH tannery across the way. That's going to be taking in leather, making shoes, right? Um, it might just be spitting out general goods. We'll see when we come around to that. There's this place which I don't actually know what it does yet. We haven't figured that out. And then we have all these industries on this side. Now, so many of these, I do not know what they're going to do. Hello, Graham. I have a lot of ideas. I've just slammed some buildings together. We have a ton of those KCS waybills to go through still. But so far, I really don't have any answers. I have, I have a list of ideas in one of my documents, and I'm always willing to hear ideas, especially if you've got good ones, from the audience. But they've got to fit, right? They've got to fit the neighborhood. You've got you have what is effectively a mill town adjoining a Granger branch. It's not the most standard situation, but it doesn't seem that weird to me, it doesn't seem that weird to me. Okay, so let's look at this. The thing is, I wish I had some good historic aerials of the Woonasquatucket River here. I haven't found much, but then again, I haven't really gone looking that hard, just to see how far apart some of the mills were, like how much empty space there was. But yeah, we have to get the scenery downriver to here. That's one of my goals. This being the way that I am really enjoying our area here. This is something I'm not super pleased with. If I knew the dimensions of these, I probably would have squeezed these together more. But as is, we're just going to be running like a bunch of fences between these. How Lafayette. And we've got to get the other side of the road too, among other things. So, yeah, let's start working on that scenery. Now, and this is the thing, I have so much to do. I just sort of look at the world laid out before me, and I wonder if I can really functionally make progress. I wait for something to grab me, something to make me want to build, but it's not hard to end up just sitting here and staring at the railroad for a very long time and just talk about what we could do. I call that a waste of time. There's a ton of stuff that we could do. Okay, so we have this here. Yeah, okay, so this is opening up because it's kind of like a mill pond. Just channel, just had a realization that I started watching the Trainz locomotion content here way back in 2013, and now I'm working full-time, about to graduate college. First of all, congratulations on the near graduation. Second of all, I do love the fact that I've been doing it this long, that people have been able to sort of grow up watching this content. I hope that considering I started the Tolbrin project, 4 years ago? More than that. 4 or 5 years ago. I hope people are able to watch this now and then look back on it later. It's different than locomotion, I feel like doing the locomotion stuff and doing like a traditional Let's Play where there's a goal and I'm building out a system. That's a little bit more engaging than this. But the engaging part of this for me, or at least I'd hope, is being able to engage with people. And I really appreciate it when, when folks like you speak up like that, but just in general. Honestly, I'm honored to be a part of so many people's lives. I've run into a handful of people that know me from this content, and this content specifically, even if they have been reintroduced to me through my appearances on 3/4 of an Idiot show, that sort of thing. One person in particular, that I met while I was out in Colorado before we recorded the 3/4 of an Idiot, was there for Mark, and then I was there, and it's like, oh, I know you. It's just an interesting one. The world is smaller every day, And I feel like there's something to that. Ellis, can you give me drive to do my homework while you're being inspirational. I mean, yeah, I can try. If you want to graduate like the person who just commented before you, if you want to graduate like Tris, do your damn homework. Um, in seriousness, unfortunately, I can't say I have much room to talk. I was very bad at doing my homework. I feel like people assume that I was a good student because of where I am in life, and I was not a very good student. I wasn't like a rabble rouser, at least not past middle school, but I was not a very good student. I did not pay attention. Like I was writing my first drafts of books in classes, um, in high school, in middle school even. Um, but before Approach Medium, your Trainz route building videos were really the only ones on YouTube at the time, at least back around 13 or 14, when you're an art major and you have a drawing due at 11:59, 40, or 11:59, yeah. Um, it's that point of the semester. I know, it's, you don't feel, like, homework's no fun. Pretty much never any fun. I won't lie, I had fun with some of the not extracurricular, but some of the extended stuff whoa, that I had to do in college. Like, doing traffic counts was always something that I enjoyed. And that was homework. I mean, it was part of a project. It was go out there, go look at the Troy Manans Bridge, and find like an area that you think needs help. And I did the Troy Manans Bridge. I can't remember why. I don't know if I was assigned that or if it was suggested to me or what. But bye, TJ. Um, but they actually recently released, and I have it saved on Reddit, the concepts for what they want to do with that bridge. Not that I didn't go that far with my analysis. I was learning to do traffic counts and get level of service, but point is I enjoyed that. There are aspects of homework that are not necessarily unenjoyable. I want to go get food, but I also see if Shelby's going to come over. But I also don't know if Shelby's going to come over. / will also want to get food. Yeah, I feel like that is a conundrum, and I don't need to speak specifically because specifically I'm going to say, well, maybe you should text her, as if you wouldn't have figured that out yourself. But what I'm trying to say, I suppose, is when you live with people, even, like, that's not the situation that you're in currently, Graham, but when you live with people, it's sometimes like okay, shoot, should I get food or should I wait? Like, should I wait? Is somebody coming home? Because if I eat now and then someone comes home, then what if they want to make food? And that's like we're making two individual meals instead of one two-person meal, which makes way more sense and is more efficient, usually more cost-effective. The easiest equivalent is like ordering a pizza. Like, I could order something, and then Gloria could come home and order something, or we could both come home and say we're both hungry. Let's order a pizza, which is, again, an example food, but something that's going to be cheaper than two of us ordering, especially if you're getting two different delivery charges, that sort of thing. I am completely out of water. That was a bad place to start. It's a conundrum. It's one of those. I know some people hate the term. It's one of those adulting things. It's like, shoot, I have to, like, be aware of the people around me's, schedules and their proclivities and what and their needs, beyond just my own. And it's good. Like, it's doing the empathy thing, right? And also making your life easier and more efficient. Simply have a pitcher of water. I would love to have a pitcher of water next to my desk all the time. Also, Tris says, having our work due for assignments homework is a double-edged sword, at least in my experience, created burnout. Yeah, no, I mean, homework as an artist, right? I don't know what you're going to school for. If you want to make mention of it, feel free. And you said art twice, so I assume it's art-related. Homework isn't, like, doing art for a living just sounds like hell. Art is all about inspiration and creativity. Okay, yeah, graphic design, so close enough. Um, and having to, this is going to go in the physical pick list. Hold on. Having to sort of conjure up that creativity on a deadline sucks. Uh, that's for art, graphic design. I say them as different things, but I'm not considering graphic design not art, of course. Uh, you know, Painting, graphic design, website stuff, anything you might do for pleasure that's creativity based. Writing, right? I I get how authors can churn out books. I understand. Like, you get a good idea, and if you have nothing else to do with your day, you can put down quite a few pages in a day. Um, for Coffee Shop, like last year, or maybe it was the year before at this point, I wrote a short story called The Rat Raid, which is, it was like, I wanted to return to the TTO universe, my sort of big fanfiction amalgam thing that I used to do, and I wanted to go back to that, and I wrote up this short story that, of, a couple of people sort of breaking into the house and stealing my computer. Um, and that came together in like a day. It was something where I had to go to Boston for work, which is something I don't do often anymore. It's a special occasion sort of thing. Either there's something really special going on at the office, or I have to go to Boston Logan Airport for some reason. Usually, like I have to drop somebody off or pick somebody up, and it's, yes, take the train, but I understand that you don't want to take the train by yourself, so I'll take it with you. Um, my mom is that way all the time. My dad has, now that he knows how to do it. Like, I showed him how to take the train once, and now every time he flies out of Boston, he does that. He'll park at like one of the places with free parking, and then just, take the train. Which, again, that's the right thing to do. It's based and cool. It sucks when you're on a deadline like that, says Trist. The nice thing is when you do have that inspiration, it's almost like your head's on fire as quickly as you can get stuff done. Yeah, what's the meme of the dude playing the flaming piano? I I get that feeling. Uh, I get that feeling. I mean, again, I'm not an artist, but I claim to be a writer. I play a writer on TV, um, and yeah, when when the inspiration is there, it's there. And it's there in a way that the less creative professions, you might say, I feel like don't get, right? I definitely don't get that. Okay, no, I do get that frenzy when I'm filling out spreadsheets sometimes, but that's a me thing exclusively. I don't expect anyone else to experience that. Just, baby, I don't feel like you ever got that, that creative frenzy of writing stuff down. Like, you showed me that notepad that you'd filled out the other day. Uh, I don't suppose you ever got that kind of frenzied feeling while you were cleaning rooms at the hotel. Yeah, I didn't think so. Let the record state that Gloria said no. Um, um, Speaking of let the record state, there's so for those who don't know, I've been doing grand jury duty, which has been very interesting and very fun, and sometimes a little bit uh, traumatizing, because grand jury cases are only like the serious ones, and so sometimes there's things that I will not say on YouTube at the beginning of a video um, going on, and I meant my proverbial hero. No, no, this like I remember being in the courtroom when we figured it out, like when they were sorting us out, and there was a stenographer there, and I didn't get to see if she had the cool stenographer machine, but she doesn't have one in the grand jury room because it's all just audio recorded. So I don't know if they don't have one in the in the in the courtroom either. It might still be all audio recorded because, you know, typing everything out is old hat. But I just want to, like, for those that are here that have never seen a stenographer machine, look it up. It's really, really cool. It's really neat. It's not what you expect. It's not a person furiously typing on a normal keyboard. It's a person furiously typing on, like, a 16 key specialized instrument. It is out of this world. And speaking out of this world, has anyone ever tried to stream Amazon Prime Video on Discord? Does it not let you do that? Because I've never tried. And I want to set something up because I really want to watch Asteroid City again, and I feel like other people deserve to be exposed to that. And I believe it's free on Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime. I don't know if it'll let you do that though. I don't know if that's just a thing you're not allowed to do. Couldn't you just screen share? Well, that's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. Screen share. It'd be really helpful to have a written It'd be really helpful to have a written record to quickly reference back into. Doesn't rely on electricity to print it out. Well, during the day it doesn't. I have tried, and it used to work through Firefox. I streamed Columbo. Okay. Streamed Columbo. Was I there for that? I'm remembering mention of you streaming Columbo. Anyway. Anyway, yeah. Let's fill this in with grass because I don't really know what else to put here. This is just the other side of the road from this. I kind of wish there was some terrain variation here. We're going to have to put some kind of dirt under the road, I think. Yeah, I mean, written records are good, or at least printed records, you know? Things that, like, you want to have both. One copy is none copy. You want a digital record so that it can be, you know, transferred, stored, moved around, you know, I'm just going to start repeating myself instantly, but transferred and stored easily, right? You want your records to be, relatively speaking, bulletproof. And if you throw something up in the cloud, like, yeah, okay, it's in a data center somewhere. There could be some catastrophe that happens to aforementioned data center. But if you put something in like a RAID array and you put servers in multiple locations, you get a much better chance of your data not getting destroyed. And yeah, if you have multiple paper copies in multiple places, also smart. But that physically takes up a lot more space. And most methods of transcribing things physically break down. I don't know why I'm explaining this. Everyone knows this. This isn't. This shouldn't be a revelation to anybody. Like, paper degrades over time. Unless you want to go start putting court records, just like carving them into stone in a copper mine somewhere. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but I'm saying it'd be really time consuming and space inefficient. Dina wrote just one more thing, and every time I see that, my brain goes, one more thing, why do you assume you're the smartest in the room? And I mean, it's Dean, that's entirely possible that that's what he was referencing, but I don't think that sentence starts with just. I think it's only one more thing. I would have to look up the lyrics. Okay, we have this area filled in like there's mud. Okay. Virgin Hamilton versus Chad Columbo. Okay. This perpendicular line of buildings I really am not liking. It's a little bit too model railroad for me. They're all very thin. Those lots should be deeper. This I'm going to have to figure out. This is probably going to be some sort of culvert, and I should grab the stuff from the really annoying culverts that we did in other places. Oh snap! Wybot's playing Ultimate Chicken Horse. Shoot, I would love to play some Ultimate Chicken Horse. I always forget who has what. I sort of wish Discord had a thing where you could put your, like, I don't know if this, I say this, I don't know how to make it, like, reasonable looking or feeling or working. Where you could just have it, like, query the games that you have in common with somebody else. So, oh, I don't know what to play. And it's like, computer, find us a game to play. And it just looks in the, like, Steam libraries that you've linked to everyone in the, for everyone in the call. And it says, like, everyone has this game. Although it would be very funny because I know a lot of people have, like, Chrome in their Steam library or whatever for some reason. And like, or like non-Steam game, like you can put in non-Steam games. You can put in other applications as Steam programs. I don't know if it gives you like the overlay or whatever, but there's some advantage to it. Especially if you're using Steam for communication, I assume that would help. I haven't done a Steam voice call in like 100 years. Anyway, so it's just going to say everyone has Google Chrome. It's like, oh cool, let's play that. I suppose you could do something like everyone has that, and it's like, okay, let's play Agario. Is that still a thing? Can you still play Agario? Or Territorio? That I was appalling at Territorio the like couple times that I tried to play it. Oh, I guess everyone could play GeoGuessr. If somebody has an account though, you need the account to like be able to do the challenge games. Slitherio is one I haven't done. I don't know why I missed the boat on that one. I feel like everyone's afraid to just like propose a game. There's only a couple games that, like when I'm in voice calls, there's only a couple games that ever get brought up to play. It's like Railroader and to be frank, these days it's just Railroader or War Thunder, I guess. Object Construction Intermission to play Slitherio. Yeah. We're going to be replacing not Tetris with Slitherio going forward. Okay. There. I mean, I suppose Discord has the games built in as well, right? It's got, like, a poker game. I have never played it. But there's that. There's, like, a golf one. I don't know if that one's free. And then there's chess, which I played once on Discord and lost to Tyler, which was a fun one. I want to do that more often. In fact, I should just instantly challenge East to chess every time we're in a call together. Anyway. This is gotta go up here, because this has gotten, like, not steep enough. Or it's been, yeah, shallow enough. There you go. There's the word that's not steep. Shallow enough that I can get away with that. And honestly, just probably use the same grass up the side. There we go. I have 3 kinds of grass, and I'm going to use all of them. Give me this asymmetric spline. We might end up dropping in some rocks or trees or things along this stretch here, but I might leave it open. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Plants and birds and rocks and things. I think that's the quote. If someone can pick out that quote, I'd be very excited. What song is that? I think it's plants and birds and I think that's the quote. I think that's the line. I'll go to Firehouse Subs. Cool, have fun. I don't think I've been. Thank you, Bender. I actually that's America, right? That's who sings that. Because I got asked if I wanted to go see them recently, and I was like, why? I just don't. I don't. Do they have other songs? I feel like I don't know any other songs by America. It's just Horse with No Name. Not that I don't like Horse with No Name, but and not that I'm not game to go to a show where I only know one or two songs, because I've been to shows where I knew none of the songs. You go see a live musician somewhere. If it's like in a bar or something, you don't know what you're gonna get. Um, Ventura Highway. Oh, that's America. Okay, yeah. Um, okay, so that's two. That's two songs that I know. Um, Amber Cascades, I do not know. Again, I'm game, but it's just like if I'm going to see an old school rock band, basically. I mean, I don't know if America is strictly rock. I would imagine that it's more folk uh, genre they'd fit in, but let's not worry about boxes. Um, and folk is pretty cool anyway. But if I'm going to pay money and schedule myself to go to a show, to go to a concert, like there's got to be some more draw for me. I don't have all that time. In the words, uh, in the words of a great woman, ain't nobody got time for that. Um, okay, we've got it up to here, so I need to figure out what this bridge is going to look like. And I'm probably going to use the same exact kind of leaf litter, dirt, green, brown for the ground here. Under this. We all know you drop everything the moment you knew Sabaton is in town. Yes, I would. That is true. I have done that. I have considered doing it again, and I think Gloria would too.
Hell yeah.
Because that was a lot of fun. I mean, Sabaton puts on a great show. I really, there's nothing else that I can say about that. Dropkick Murphys is going to be at the Newport Folk Festival on the Sunday. I guess they're folk. I'm not complaining. I might go. What? Maybe. A bunch of TJ's favorite bands are playing on Friday at Newport Folk. Well, my mom has a Friday ticket, so you might be able to pry it off her hands. I don't know. Uh, Getting tickets for the Newport Folk Festival, for those who have no idea, getting tickets for the Newport Folk Festival is a shot in the dark. It is not only difficult to get one in the first place, but they sell out before any of the musicians are announced. They go on sale. They're all gone, like, within a day. You go on wait lists and stuff. And then they start announcing who's going to be at the show. I don't know if it's because they're intentionally slow rolling it, or because they don't know either. Which, either are possible. There is a musician, a relatively famous musician, but his name escapes me, who lives not far from here in Jamestown, Rhode Island. Jamestown is an island, as is Aquidneck Island, or Newport Island, by some parlance. Now, the reason that's important is, this musician lives there. The Newport Folk Festival is at a place called Fort Adams, which is on the very southern tip of Newport Island, Aquidneck Island. And they had somebody cancel, like a really big name cancel. And they said, oh no, we need to fill this spot. And they called up a very famous musician who lives in Jamestown, and he just got in his boat and motored across the bay in between the two islands and walked up, basically walked onto stage. Which is it also, some of the stages are facing outward, like facing the bay, and so you get throngs of boats, just like people's pleasure cruisers, sitting out there watching the shows for free. You're if you can't get a ticket to the Newport Folk Festival, try getting a friend with a boat. Uh, anyway, yeah, just an interesting story. Things that happen in Rhode Island, things that happen, like it's not as strange. Like, okay, the water is there, right? You can transport things across water. We figured this out thousands and thousands of years ago. Like, it shouldn't be amusing to me that we figured out how to transport somebody across water. But it's just not something you see every day. And honestly, if it was something you did see every day, the world would be better. It'd be a better place. We had that really cool ferry that went Providence to Bristol after our I-195 bridge was declared kaput. Also, hello, Pat. And the fact that they got rid of it after like 2 weeks is sad. It's very disappointing. Like, I understand why they got rid of it. It was a hideously expensive service to run. Sorry, stump. So I understand why it was not something that they decided to hang on to. But, oh wait, I wanted a really big stump. That's not a... Do I not have a really big stump? Ah, there we go. Anyway. The hell was I saying? Yeah, so getting the... Like, we had the ferry. The ferry was cool. I didn't get to ride the ferry. It was really bad weather when I wanted to go ride. Like, when I had the opportunity to. It was so windy they canceled the ferry. Which is, another slight issue with ferries. But it also wasn't very well... Like, okay, I can harp on about the problems with the ferry for a very long time. But I still think that having it and then having it taken away from us was worse than not having it ever. Like, it did shut some people up that were saying, oh, the state isn't doing anything, we're hung out to dry, the bridge is collapsing, and we're screwed, like, the mayor doesn't care, the ride-out director doesn't care, they just care about blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, well, you got a ferry, shut up. What do you want them to do, call in the Army Corps of Engineers and put a pontoon bridge over Narragansett Bay? Some people would have said yes to that. Not the worst idea I've ever seen. It wouldn't work, but, ideas. But my point is we should do more of that. My point is that the hideously expensive impractical ferry was good, actually, and we should do more of that. Because we've got all this water. Why not use it for something? Like, call me an idiot, but I feel like, I know. It's my job. I know. Ferries and waterborne transportation are some of the least cost-effective methods of transit in terms of cost per passenger mile or passenger trip, right? I know. We should do them anyway because it's making use of an opportunity that you really don't have otherwise. You're not going to build a heavy rail line directly across the middle of Narragansett Bay. It's not going to happen. Why? Because we're not the Rutland. We don't have that strange relationship with water. Anyway. Hello, Bryson. Bryson says, Ellis, a documentary on 5 might be releasing soon. Commuter planes... Dean points out that commuter planes might be worse in that regard. That's an interesting point. It's just they almost never come up. So I've never been able to compare the numbers. There are a handful of transit agencies in the US, and I wish I remembered the name of the website, but I have it saved. It's such a thing in Alaska. Okay, well, yeah. Commuter planes are a very, like, we have no alternatives sort of thing, right? But no, Dean, you might be onto something, right? It's just I have never been able to look at the numbers for a transit agency that does commuter planes because they're really unusual. Uh, for good reason, I would imagine. Um, and there are a few transit agencies in the U.S. that, because they're public, you know, things, they have uh, what amounts to what amounts to publicly available, like whatchamahoots, publicly available data numbers on their function and cost and everything. And I've been able to look at ferries alongside all of the other typical modes of transit, heavy rail, light rail, buses, uh, like flex stuff, like like order a ride sort of paratransit. Um, what are some other things? I mean, tramway. You know, well, I guess that falls under light rail. Um, and then ferries in there. I think the two that I can think of off the top of my head is I'm pretty sure Seattle has commuter ferries, and Boston, of course, has commuter ferries. Boston, I remember being one of only a couple of agencies that run all types of transit. And I put all types in quotation marks because, like I said, as was pointed out, they're not doing commuter planes. Commuter planes, right? They are just doing uh, everything else. We're looking into how steam locomotives work in the modern day. How to make steam locomotives work in the modern day. Step 1, have cheap coal. If you can't get that, don't do it at all. No, but in seriousness, I mean, that is kind of it, though, because anything else you could throw in an internal combustion engine. Like veggie oil, you could figure it. You could throw in an internal combustion engine. I take back the commuter planes. Are they more cost of commuter helicopters? Let's just say commuter aircraft and file that all together and call it a day. About, because they're just as absurd. They're all nuts. Commuter helicopters strikes me as not a commuter thing. It strikes me as we're calling it a commuter thing, but it caters exclusively to people who have way too much money. Aside from, I would imagine, very niche scenarios in very dense cities. I assume there's some kind of commuter helicopter in New York, or uh, oil rigs use commuter helicopters. Okay, that's very niche. Cheap coal in the bag, yeah. So, on the subject of steam locomotives in modern service, or slightly more modern than we are used to them being, the only place where the only place where steam locomotives ever really have a bona fide leg up over diesel locomotives is if you can get cheap fuel. Because I like steam. As you guys probably know, I like it a lot. Steam stops making sense very quickly when the costs of fuel equal out. Because not only do you have things like operating, like duty cycle, right? To use another term, duty cycle. How often is this thing spending in the shop versus on the road? Steam engines, they don't win that fight. They don't. It's just factual. And I know that the main Central Class X is not the best example for anything, because it was a garbage piece of machinery. But to use that as an example, they had 3 locomotives, and they had 4 locomotives. They always had 3 on the notch and 1 in the shop. And that wasn't even necessarily because one was always broken. It's because that's just how you needed to work it so that you weren't always breaking things. One always needed to be on rotation, getting some care of some kind. And that's just because that's the routine maintenance you need to do for a steam locomotive. You need them in the shop a lot. If you have a railroad, if you have an operation where it's okay for your motive power to be down 25% of the time or more, then and still have that be like crew paying hours, right? Um, because you're still having to pay the shop crew. Then yeah, I mean you won't really have trouble. But the moment that starts to infringe upon the hours that you would be able to make use of a diesel locomotive, it's out the window. It's out, like, you're going to spend more on maintenance, parts, crew, almost everything you can imagine. If you can offset that with fuel, and fuel is a major cost, you can do that if the numbers are right, then you have a shot at using steam in the modern era. But there are very few other things in which you will ever see a steam locomotive beating out a diesel locomotive by the numbers. And I hate, I don't like to admit that because I like steam, but that's just, I mean, that's the way it is. Anyway. Okay, let's. I mean, if you want to throw stuff at me, like thoughts, give me your thoughts. I'm not an authoritative figure on this. I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything, and I will never know everything. That's sort of how life works. There are probably others. There are probably things that I'm not thinking of, right? And if you've got one, lay it on me, because I'd love to hear it. I want to, you know, I want, for my own selfish purposes, understanding of how to do this. Uh, Let me justify it in my universe building, in my world building. Okay. Tractive effort is not true. Tractive effort is not the answer here, because it's immaterial. The thing with tractive effort is, like, yes, a big boy has more an Allegheny, a large steam locomotive has more per unit tractive effort than the largest diesels, for the most part. Like, you'll probably beat them out with, with a big articulated steam engine, compared to like a DDA-40X. Which, again, DDA-40X, I've got that trading card around here somewhere. Buy trading cards, theironhorseman.com. But the issue is that you don't need it's apples to oranges. It is apples to oranges, and that's I think a decent use of that phrase, that turn of phrase, because what do you do to add more tractive effort when your steam engine does not have enough without modifying the locomotive? You add another steam locomotive, right? And when you add another steam locomotive, you double the fuel cost, you double the maintenance hours, whatever. Like, all of that is true with a diesel. So you're amplifying that 2 times, right? But if you need 2 diesels, yes, you add all those things, but you don't add additional crew hours, because you can run 2, 4, 5, 10 locomotives with 2 people, with 1 person, really, as opposed to a steam engine where every single locomotive you add, you're adding 2 people at least, and there's no way around that. If you could make an automatic fireman, like a truly automatic fireman, and then set up the controls so that you could MU, and don't think about an old steam locomotive backhead. Think about a modern computerized setup where all of the controls are operable by servo. Yeah, and also, I mean, steam is a propulsive method relatively rudimentary compared to internal combustion. Yeah, I mean, Dean, you're not wrong if you want to look at energy capture, right? And that's a good place to sort of consider. It's a good thing to consider as well. Like, I believe the I-1, the PRR I-1, the giant decapod, is regarded as having unusually good economy. Like, it says so on the trading card. Because that's what I remember when I was reading about it. It says on the trading card these things had surprising economy. I could dig it out if I want. It's in the box behind me. If I remember right, we're talking about single-digit percents. So let me go to steamlocomotive.com and check, because I want to know off the top of my head. Or I want to know for sure. PRR I1. I'm not sure if it was in here, actually, or if it was in the Wikipedia article. I don't really want to spend too much time digging, but... Okay, yeah. Efficiency consisted of the steam era. I1 achieved a maximum of 8.1% thermal efficiency. So, 8.1% thermal efficiency, that means over 90% of your potential, like, energy, your potential chemical energy is going out the stack. It's turning into heat and blowing out the end. It's not getting converted, it's not boiling the water, it's not making the steam, it's not moving the pistons. 8.1%. That is really good for a steam engine. It is atrociously bad. You are losing 90% of the energy you put in. If you want to, internal combustion engine thermal efficiency. Modern gasoline, this is just Google, which is just quoting Wikipedia. So, you know, there are caveats here. But most road legal cars are about 20 to 40%, and modern gasoline engines can get up to 50% before you start going into the crazies. Before you start really having to squeeze. But, so, you know, that is for a road legal car. Obviously, there are going to be differences with diesel locomotives. But even assuming the bottom end of what you can get out of an internal combustion engine, as quoted in that paragraph, which is 20%, that's more than double what you're getting out of a steam engine. It's not good. You're still blowing 80% of your heat out the stack, but entropy being what it is, you can't really avoid that all too much. Okay, how do we get cars into here? I think we get them... I think we're going to have to drive them in this way. That's fine. That's going to look fine. So, yeah, not ideal, right? Very inefficient. And that's one of the other issues with steam locomotives. Again, I love steam. I'm not sitting here to try to rag on steam. I just feel like if we're going to talk about it, we need to be cognizant of why it isn't running everywhere all the time. And it's not just because of big diesel lobby, right? Big concrete stepping in and saying, you know, you gotta fill the boiler. No, it's a game of thermal efficiency. It's a game of, hello dragon. It's a game of you know, maintenance hours, man hours, crew hours. There are many balls in play, and sadly, they virtually all point to steam locomotives are not very efficient. Or, you know, a worthwhile investment in an era where internal combustion is reigning supreme. Now, we're talking about reciprocating steam engines. If you want to bring up turbines, you're now adding a whole other variable to this equation. And a lot of relatively long, what could have been relatively long in the tooth modern steam employed or was going to employ turbines in some way, shape, or form. You know, it's a bit of a horse of a different color. And you don't want to get too in the weeds. The fact of the matter is, there are lots of good reasons why we don't have steam engines out and about on the main line today. That's not to say that they can't be useful in niche scenarios. They can be useful if you're getting your fuel for free, right? If you're running a coal mine. Or if... I mean, there are situations where the capital cost of a new diesel locomotive is going to always outweigh how much you're going to have in the coffers, but it's probably because you're spending so much money running a steam engine. Uh, it's, yeah. Yeah, steam is high maintenance. You just hopped in, but I was talking about how the Maine Central Railroad, out of an example class of 4 locomotives, one of them was always in the shop. The steam era ended because of a collapsed dry pipe. Oh, on the Crab Orchard and Egyptian? I mean, that's maintenance, you know? You're going to be spending more on all that. You're going to be spending more on parts and service and man hours, and that's how the cookie crumbles. It's not fun, but like there's a reason why Strasbourg doesn't do steam freight anymore, and it's not because they've become lame and boring. Not that they haven't, but you know, they got a carousel. Why do they need a carousel? Anyway, oh man, baby, could you do me a favor? Yes, please. No, they generally do not do steam freight anymore. They have at least an diesel for that, if not multiple diesels. Thank you so much, baby. They had the mini engine, the Maine Eastern. I think it was an F unit or a Jeep. What was it? I think it might have been a Jeep. I don't know what happened to that unit actually. I don't know. Did the Maine Eastern engine end up getting scrapped? Because that was the rumor I heard. It was that it was going to Strasbourg, and then when they were done with it, it was going to turn into razor blades. And I don't know if that was ever true, but that's what I heard. Isn't 4014 going to haul freight? I mean, maybe. That's the rumor, right? And I think they said something to that effect in like a recent press release. Like, we're going to show the power of the steam locomotive. It's not like they're doing that to make money, right? They're doing it for PR. Thank you, baby. They smell good. With all due respect to Union Pacific, which admittedly isn't much, like, it might be a revenue move, but they're not putting 4014 into freight service because they feel like it's a good financial decision. They're putting 4014 into freight service because they want to, because people are going to lose their minds when they see a big boy pulling stacks, right? Yeah, it's a steam program going, check this out. Yeah, no, absolutely. You're 100% on the ball. UP can't do that because they don't have a coal line. They do, though, don't they have... Is Powder River all BNSF? I don't know much about modern stuff, but I know, I assume UP moves plenty of coal. All the Class 1s move plenty of everything. That's just the way it is. That's what it's like being a big railroad. Now, something that's always interested me, something that I haven't been able to dig into, and maybe someone can explain it to me someday, is the term common carrier. And I know I can just Google it, right? I know we're living in a modern world. I can Google things. I can find them out. I did it a second ago just to prove that I could. But I'm sitting here thinking, does the CPKC mainly move intermodal? I don't know if that's mainly. It might be the plurality of their traffic. You'd have to dig into that. I wouldn't be overly surprised if it was the plurality of their traffic, because that's just what freight railroading is these days. But you know, I can Google stuff. It's just like, what exactly does that mean? You know, I know that it has to do with being able to carry whatever, right? I know that the Porterfield and Ellis was not a common carrier. They were exclusively a logging railroad. But I always equated common carrier meaning you can just move freight and do whatever you want. I didn't really think about railroads to whom that designation does not apply. And I guess the peony is one of them. Okay. You know what? Should I extend this all the way to here? It looks a little weird. I feel like I should continue it. Show of hands. Should I continue this like that? Because right now it sort of looks like a dock. And no, I'm going to continue it. It's not a dock. You can't get a boat up here. I stretched out the definition of what was possible to, like, do with a ferry or do with a barge on the Scioto River over by, over by Whatchamahauser. And I don't think I can do that again. Like, I know better now. It's one of those things. That's what I like about doing Trainz route building, in part, is knowing better, is learning, right? Because I'm sitting here and I'm crafting a world. And man, worlds are complicated. I don't know if you've been to ours, but it's pretty damn complicated. It won't look like a boat if you put industries on it. That's fair, but I'm not sure if I completely agree. Because this is exactly what a dockside looks like on a river. Hello, Matt. Speaking of, you say Porterfield and Ellis, and he appears. Can I cut the corner here? If I make this, I want to line this up right with that. Watch this. There. I can't believe okay. No, so here's the problem. This is crooked now. This is crooked, and now I should straighten it out. Pizza time? Oh, hi, Lafayette. Bryson says, oh, hi, Train Man. And my immediate instinct was, hi, Bryson. It's been so long since I've been Train Man. Why am I still doing this? Oh, wait. Oh, no. That's because that was... You know what? That's fine. Whatever. It looks fine. No, thank you. Not right now. Just make sure there's still some for me when I'm done. Horrible, horrible. Leave it all alone. Okay. No, we're gonna have to even these out. I'm gonna have to make some stairs, damn. Can I make sure this is parallel? I don't know if that's parallel. It doesn't look parallel to me. Is that parallel? Because if that's parallel, that's fantastic. Oh, no. I've made a mistake. Thinking emoji. Grab that. Can I set that to here? Yes. Accept. No. This is less than ideal. I thought I had it lined up with the edge and I didn't. I have an idea, though. I have an idea. Okay, what if I do this, and then I grab it again, and I do, oh shoot, I do this, and I scoot this over here. It smells so good. How does it taste? That's good. Can't you raise the terrain? Yeah, no, I will have to do that. I kind of liked these buildings being in a little bit of a divot, though. And that's why it was, exposed. Oh, these are way too high. I need to lower these a lot. Um, yeah, okay, that's fine. And then bring that to about there. That looks awesome. Okay, I'm very happy with this. Um, for crying out loud. Okay. The other thing is, a lot of these places would have V-shaped dams, which would look very cool here. Um, Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep that in a divot. Matt, tell him to pay you. Keep that in a divot. And then I'm going to do this. Put that there. Okay, and here's the other problem, though. We have to connect these, or else it's not going to look good. Oh, man, ELO. Firmly stuck in my head. I'm glad the pizza's good. Okay, there we go. That's better. Except I do still want to lower this. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna lower it along this stretch. So okay. We could put like a boat launch in here, like right here. Right here. Especially if it looks like it mirrors this, like you could have just driven across here and then whatever. Yeah. Yeah, how about that? Yeah. Okay. And I know I said no boats, but that's not what I meant. Right, how about right there and then right there? Okay. I'm going to scoot this over to there just to provide enough room. And then from here to here. Oh shoot. Now let me grab that and then there we go. For the record, the song stuck in my head is Calling America, which great song. We've got some time left on that screenshot competition. I haven't built anything that I could use to drop in for it. If you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, Bryson is actually hosting a screenshot competition on our Discord. It's going on for the next couple of weeks to sort of build a little abandoned stretch of railroad, take a nice shot on it, something like that, I think. I wanted to get involved because I don't ever get the chance to do that. So far you have 2 submissions. Well, at least it makes judging easier. Okay. Hello, Mopac. Fellow comrades and Matt. Damn. Get wrecked, Matt. Let's scoot this over to here. Yeah, I do wish more people would engage with community-driven events, right? A long time ago, we tried to have some movie nights, or a member tried to have some movie nights. He's no longer a member of the server, and I think that had to do with the fact that no one showed up to his movie nights. And that's a real bummer, because that's, like, not a fun feeling. I tried to, but you know how good. Everyone here should know how things go for me by now. Batch 4 is coming soon. I was kind of bummed I didn't have Batch 4 to sell at the Scale Trainz event, but the Scale Trainz event went quite well. Nevertheless, the Scale Trainz people are so cool. Like they're like I say the people. It was a husband and wife, like the founders of the company that came to do the event, to do the road trip. I assume that they are the ones that are doing it everywhere, and man, that was cool. Like that was really cool. I didn't get to watch the whole presentation, which was kind of a bummer because I was upstairs doing a bit of a layout tour and things like that. But the best thing about it was meeting with some folks that were, sort of my age and younger, or the couple of people that came that were my age and younger, that really it makes me want to go back to the PN this Saturday, which is something I haven't done in a very long time, just for fun, right? Sadly, I cannot because I have taken over the responsibility of shipping the club cars. So I'm not going back for fun. I'm actually going back for business. But hey, I already go to the post office enough, so it's not a really big lift for me. Yeah, they don't know me yet, but they will. That's a threat. No, don't commit crimes against the post office. They have like a 100% conviction rate. Pro tip. It's not 100, it's like 90 something, but you know, it's a lot. It's a lot of conviction. They sure have conviction. Anyway, heart goes out to the United States Postal Service. Okay. So let's do this. Well, like I said, I want to try streaming Asteroid City because what an unusual film that is, and I need to see it again. I need to see it again now that I know what I know about it. Um, I'm a huge Wes Anderson fan. Most people know that. Um, and it is certainly one of his strangest and least accessible movies. Like, I wouldn't argue it's I wouldn't argue it's less accessible than, say, uh, Life Aquatic, because frankly I did not enjoy Life Aquatic. But to each their own. Huh. If you wanted to watch it, I would. For what it's worth, I would give it another shot. It's been a very long time. It's just it just wasn't that funny. Like I didn't get it is the issue. I just didn't get why I wanted to be watching the movie. And I feel like everyone here I feel like it should be understood what I mean when I say that. Um where okay, we're going to use terrain tracks for this. 4M standard bump. Um when I say like I want to be given a good reason why I'm here, right? A movie, it's supposed to tell you a story, right? It's supposed to lay out something for you, and it's gonna have a plot. It's gonna have a beginning, a middle, and an ending, probably ish. It's going to have characters that you love or hate or love to hate, right? Who you watch go nuts, right? Like Joker, who's the good guy in Joker? There is no good guy in Joker, and that's the point. Uh, but at least you are on this ride. If it doesn't feel like there's a point to the ride, it doesn't feel like there's a point to watching the movie. And I didn't get it. But I don't think I even understood what was going on in that film. I don't even I don't think I understood what the film was, what it was about, or even who the main characters were and what they were doing. I genuinely am not sure if I was developed enough as a human being to know. Um, and now looking back, part of me wants to give it another shot because I I am a better movie watcher now, maybe. I am someone who gets it a little bit more, and I'm willing to take a leap. I'm willing to maybe be confused or sit with the movie for a while, or, that sort of thing. We watched so many movies for the Real List, and the thing is, none of them were bad. Well, almost none of them were bad. None of them were, like, pointless, right? We were watching these movies because we wanted to see these movies. It wasn't because we were being recommended films and then we had to assess them. Almost all of the movies that we watched for the Real List, which, if you don't know what that is, again, check out the community channel in the description. It is a movie podcast that Gloria and I made. It's a little bit. It's a 30-minute show, and I think we made one long episode on Hamilton. For like the show's 1 year, and then we stopped making episodes. It's one of those things I'd like to get back to. We're mostly doing TV shows right now. Need to watch the Fallout show too. Before anybody else asks, again, no, I have not watched the Fallout show yet. We weren't being sent movies, like, we didn't go into anything with no expectations, with no understanding of what we were going to be looking at. We didn't go into anything wondering what kind of movie we were going to see, for the most part. Like, yeah, there are some things I didn't know. There were some things Gloria didn't know. There were some things we both didn't know because they were brand new films, but at least we got an idea of what we were going to be seeing. I don't think it's any debate that the worst movie that we watched was Space Jam: New Legacy, and while I don't think it's boo-worthy, it's definitely not something that I'm probably going to go out of my way to watch again. Maybe I'd watch like one or two sequences. Like, there are a couple bits that are funny. But the point is not that it was not a good movie. The point is that it was a movie that we chose to watch because we knew we were going to watch the Space Jam sequel. Like, we knew that, at least, we didn't go in with no understanding of what we were about to see, which is a little bit different from when someone recommends you a movie and says, oh, you gotta see this, right? You might be able to go watch a trailer, watch a synopsis, but it's not something that grabbed you, it's something that was handed to you. Not that movie recommendations are a bad thing, just I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. There's a difference, right? There's a difference between Gloria and I choosing to watch a movie because it's on our list and a random movie rec that we don't know anything about. We had a certain kind of expectations. Anyway. So, Dragon says, I've been thinking, what's the lore of this city? And that's a really good question because this is one of those that I haven't written down. There isn't a ton of set-in-stone lore for Bellington and South Bellington. The most we can discern is that this was a crossroads that South Bellington, which came second because it's South Bellington, was a crossroads here, adjacent a river here, and had some small mills that sprang up, and eventually the town sort of grew and grew and grew and grew until into this massive mill town at the edge of plains. So this is the outlet for, and maybe you could float a skiff of grain down the river, right? But this is the outlet for processed and unprocessed food coming from the breadbasket of Tolbrand, which is a very large flat valley in that direction. So, yeah. There's not a ton of really firm lore about this place. We know what we know. We know that this is a city that grew up because of the food commodities flowing through it, and because of the river flowing through it, giving it the ability to process those food commodities. Um, Other than that, yeah, there isn't a ton, and I wish I had more for you than that, but it is what it is. Um, Now, that's South Bellington. Bellington is a little tougher. Um, Bellington, which boy, is there a lot of Bellington that we have to do. But I'm trying to do South Bellington first. Originally, South Bellington was going to be the larger one, but Bellington is definitely larger. My lore would be that the government wanted the city to expand and gave the city money to do that. I mean, that's certainly not out of the question. The idea that there was a lot of what I guess you would call state money, because it's not city, you know, it's nation state, whatever you want to call it. But in whatever the next level of government up, right? Um, and the fact that this isn't perpendicular to the edge here, I feel like it's gonna drive some people nuts. I don't really like. I feel for you, but that's just the way it's gonna be. Um, Let me. My phone. My phone don't charge so good no more. I'm gonna have to get a new phone because of that, which is gonna be maybe the first time that I've had to get a new phone because of that. Um, that annoys me. Anyway, I will try to figure out why it doesn't do that. Maybe stick a toothpick in. Bellington could be the capital of the local county. That's very fair. It could be the county seat, which would make a lot of sense. And honestly, what's wrong with my phone? It don't charge no good anymore. It could be the county seat, which would make sense, given its size and stature, and it would probably hold the, sort of power over the entirety of the flat area. Zacto knife in the charger, yeah. Yeah, I was figuring sticking something in there and rooting it around would be the first place to start. Hello, Stellar. Anyway, yeah, it being the county seat, it receiving a bunch of what would effectively be federal money, state money, whatever, um, in order to sort of take advantage of the large food growing ability, right? Makes a lot of sense also. So you could say that South Bellington is the more industrial of the pair, and Bellington is the more what's the word? Commercial, legislative. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. It's a much more metropolitan kind of town. But we are using the O&W station here. And I don't know what that says. But, this whole area is going to be commercialized to the gills, I would imagine. Okay. Yeah, the fact that the scenery is making its way downriver here is making me very, very happy. Um, and this is sort of like the waterworks building. I don't know what this is. Probably some sort of supply depot. I mean, it says Detroit Mill Supply Company. But I've used this like 3 times. I would imagine high-rise near the rails. Maybe 1 or 2 buildings that are closer to, 10 stories or whatever. I mean, let's scroll through. Let's see what we've got. Because if we want to, I want to look at skyscrapers that aren't skyscrapers. I want to look at 1920s kind of skyscrapers. And that means probably looking at things called office, because it would be like an office building. I mean, like this sort of thing, like that, right? That's the closest that you get. That's a skyscraper, quote unquote. This looks a little too Euro, a little too modern. Um, yeah, city offices. I mean, something like this. That is a really big building for this town. Like really, really big. Um, I want to use this Asplunda office somewhere. You know what? I think you know what? I'm gonna put this over by the track here. I think it might be able to go here as like a semi-permanent structure. You know? Um, there we go. That looks great. Okay. Um, and we're back to going through offices. Um, some doors, some things, doors, floors. This, which is really interesting, this is a school building. I think we have that down somewhere already. SAP factory. Oh, this is a new one. Oh, wow, this is really cool. This looks a little abandoned, but I love that. This is like Soviet Art Deco. Like, you'd see this building in Pripyat. I love that. Um, Yard Office Altona. Interesting. That's going into the physical pick list. PRR Yard Office Tane. That's also adorable. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but I got to put it somewhere. Oh, I know where I'm going to put it. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. We have the perfect spot for this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look how great this is. I knew I left out 2 tracks here for a reason. Perfect. Oh, and we have some more post offices, which that's good. Oh, that's a third-party asset. I don't even have. What is this asset? Hold on. I'm gonna look this up really quick. Post office. Can I revert this? Post office modified. Can I revert to original? Okay, it's modified. Installed. What if I put installed and on DLS? I'm sorry you can't see this. On download station. Oops, not obsolete. Download station. Okay, so that asset is not. This is not on the download station. We can't use this even if we wanted to. I would like to go find some more post offices. Oh, this one's really nice. I'm gonna go put this in the physical pick list. Look at that. It's German, but it's fine. It's nice. 60s era office building. Maybe a little too new for this town. West Judge Bean's office. No. Post office, Fort York. Office. Okay, this thing has 3 polygons and 2 of them are broken. Office building. Holy cow. I mean, those are the sizes that we're talking about, right? But I don't think I need to do that. This. Interesting. It's the same texture. It's the same texture with this on the... You know what would be great? We should pair these two together. Oh, but they have different... they're slightly different sizes. Still, though. There's this one. Yup. That's the physical graffiti building, it looks like. Not actually, but makes me think of it. Office, Starbucks Center. Holy Moses! Wow! Okay, well, we don't need that right now, but I definitely need to come back to that. That's a whole mall right there. This is really cool as well for a corner. Yep. Definitely want to do that. King County Courthouse, no. That, 60s, too new. Oh, office with ramp. This. This is actually kind of cool, but it's a little too new. Office Missouri tile loans. This, I think, is going to go in South Bellington. I don't know where, but somewhere. Um, maybe, like, right here, actually. Although this area would not get enough foot traffic for this, so this would have to go somewhere else. But I'll leave it there for now, and if we find a better spot for it, we find a better spot for it. Okay, we have the triplicate building. We have this, which, hold on. Thinking emoji. This building, does it have a helipad on it? No, I thought that was a helipad in the miniature image, in the thumbnail. Little office. Okay, that was an air traffic control tower. We have all of these little brick offices, which we should make use of because they are great. ADM, St. Margaret's House. This is the one with the... Yeah, you could theoretically run a train underneath it. I think we did that on MPS. Motel. It's called Motel Office and Rooms. It's just a motel. Like, what else? What more do you need? It has the office and the rooms. I think this, like, little outbuilding would do great. Here. Maybe right here. Yeah, how's that? Metal building. Honestly, metal building. I'm here for it. Let's put a metal building. We need to fill this area with stuff. This has no doors. None at all. None. What? I mean, I get it. You can probably just stick your own door on it, but... right now, maybe I'll just leave it as an enigma. Lumberyard office. The fact that we have a set of stairs... How tall is this set of stairs? Tall enough. I have an idea. I mean, if we kit bash a building to the point where that set of stairs is useful, oh man, I want to use it. Nah, too new. What is this? That is very new, but it's got like a garage, so it could be a lot of things. The JR stuff, JR crew office. Just not the kind of office I need right now. SEA yard office. I could put this next to the other one. But honestly, I think I might stick this... You know, I'm going to put it over here for now, and we'll see what we can do about it later. Do with it later. Physical pick list over there. This is the giant Denver post office. Yep. Insurance office. Whoa. Oh, that's Hinton. Of course it is. Funeral office. Oh. Yeah. We need one of these. Somewhere. Put it over there. Factory. What a weird building. Why don't we put this on the waterfront then? Yeah, sure. Let's just put it there. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what this building is or supposed to be or could be. But I'm doing that. I think we've used that before. There has been a slightly worrying amount of Chinook pilot training flights over my house in the last couple of months. Well, that's not good. Okay. EMT fact. Oh, wow. Wow, that's really cool. I like that. I think I'll put this in the pick list over here. Right there. Okay. Holy Moses. Yeah, no, I think that's a little too big for this town. It might be too big for every town on the map combined. Um, I mean, it's a New York City building, so this might be the largest building in town, tallest building in town. I mean, look at it. It's like twice the height of anything. It's gonna be like Joe Mama's Grain Corp, right? Like this is the big building. Um, I don't think we're gonna use it because man, that is big. But and this is supposed to be a suburb. Like this is the bedroom town, not whatever is next to this. Also, it doesn't fit perfectly in this, which yeah, Monkey Bananas HQ, Matt, shut the hell up. This is also quite nice. Well, now what we've done is we've like raised the bar. Like this is way too big for this town. I'm not gonna lie. This we can't do that. However, it looks kind of cool and I'd like it. That's too big. We're gonna get to use like maybe two of these buildings. It's probably gonna be these two next to one another, or slightly wedged into one another, I guess. This is not. This is not the kind of thing that we can just go ham. This is not Gilson City. When we get there, then we can go ham. Um, but until then, even then, we can't because there's so much. Uh, oh, we got a circular one. Okay. There is so much that no. uh, that is going to be too large for cemetery office building. We need a cemetery, right? We need a burial ground. We talked about that. Um, honestly, that should probably be over here, near the hospital, for no particular reason. Um, Honestly, there's thought that you come into Bellington, there's this big building that you immediately spot in Bellington. I don't disagree. It's just a question of, is that building, and maybe I should turn my render distance up so we can see how much it stands out. Is this building that building? Or is it the fact that there are three massive grain elevators? And a fourth one over there. So, that's sort of my question, right? Are these buildings too big? Are they too tall? Is it too dense? Because I can see the argument, this one's fine. I can see the argument that this building, or this town, this I should put like over by the thingy, over here. This town should have enough space to expand, right? This town would have more than enough space to expand. There would be no reason for them to build big unless a company felt the need to flex. And if the company is, Mega Giga Chad Grain Corp, who owns all of the silos and elevators and everything, rule of thumb should be half the height of the granaries. Yeah. Like, there's no reason for this to be built. Like, these guys, I could see a couple of them in, like, one city block. But even then, it's a lot. Like, the amount of people that work in these buildings, you have to find spots for them everywhere. They're coming from somewhere. They live somewhere. And that, I feel like, is a problem with a lot of Trainz routes. People love a good-looking downtown, and they make a good-looking downtown, or they sort of make one. This is a cool building. We're definitely going to use that. And they don't build the... This looks more like a train station than anything. They don't build the suburbs that would be needed to sustain that kind of building, or that kind of density, that kind of downtown. It just, I thought those were residential. No, I think these are, I mean, these are all offices, right? These are all commercial. They could be mixed use, but here's how you can tell they're not residential, except for maybe this one. This one is an exception. This one I could see being residential units. And the reason you can tell that these, at least, these big square ones, this one, probably, are not residential, is the size of them, the girth of the building. If you have a girthy building like this, although this has this, which implies like a skylight down the middle of it, but this one, for example, no one's living in here. You know why no one's living in here? Because all the interior doesn't get natural light unless these are open floors with cubicles that go up 3/4 of the way to the ceiling. Or less, halfway to the ceiling. Those are, you know, if you go into a proper office building, like a modern office building, or even an older one, you know, anything with cubicles and beyond, you're going to see an open floor plan. Like, go look at pictures of the World Trade Center, ideally before, and you can, there are some great shots of, you can see the light shining through the building because it's that hollow on the inside. That's how you keep the people who work, like, away from the windows from going stir crazy and shooting up the joint. You take those, you know, you make sure that everyone has light. Now, if you take one of these and you turn it into apartments, now all of your interior rooms, which, you know, you might have the apartments so that every apartment has at least, you know, one window to the outside. But there are going to be interior rooms that get no sunlight at all. And that's the problem with converting... Well, that's really cool, but way too modern. That's the problem with converting an office building, office space, to residential. It's why we haven't seen it happen in every city ever. As, you know, post-COVID, there's less need for office space, and you know, everywhere there's a housing shortage and more need for places for people to sleep and cook and watch television. And I apologize to those who are watching this, all two of you that have heard this rant before, but it's an important sort of facet of the whole. It helps inform what's going on in real life, which I feel like is important, but also it is an important, like, it's a thing you can use, it's a rule of thumb you can use to help identify some of these buildings and sort of think about, like, you know, it's food for thought. It's food for thought. That's one of my favorite phrases. It's food for thought. It's nice to have this in the back of your mind when you are planning anything, or even when you're thinking about your city planning, when you're thinking about reality or the game. These buildings struggle to support life in a way that allows residents to live there, because they fail to provide adequate sunlight and windows to potential residents. You can take, wow, these are almost perfectly the same size, the same height. You can take a building like this and turn it into residential units, and as you do, you need to make the decision which rooms are not getting sunlight. Especially if it's a brick of a floor plan like this. A real chode of a building. Unless your apartments are all huge, you your apartments are getting like one room with windows each, right? And you need to decide, is that the living room? Is that the kitchen? Is that the bedroom? Or is that the bathroom? And that's, some of those, okay, why do you need a window in the kitchen? Well, maybe you want to vent smoke out, right? That's kind of important. Why do you need a window in the living room? So you don't go stir crazy in the room you spend, the most of your leisure time in. Why do you need a window in the bedroom? Well, maybe you want to open it for fresh air while you are asleep, or maybe you spend an awful lot of time there. I mean, you do. You spend a third of your life in bed, just generally. Not even sleeping, I should say. Spend a third of your life sleeping. I'm not going to judge. Never mind. And the bathroom, you want to let steam out, right? Like, the bathroom is maybe functionally the most important room to have a window in, because if you don't have adequate ventilation in the bathroom, now you're going to have a moldy bathroom. And if you have a moldy bathroom, you're going to have moldy more than just the bathroom. Also, I like how these literally are the same image, but this one is worse. Putting them side by each like this really makes it clear. But at any rate, yeah, your one window's in the bathroom. That's like, if I had to make the call, I might put my one window in the bathroom for the sake of functionality, but then I would go stir crazy. Because if you don't have windows in the room, you don't know if it's night or day, It's insane. You wake up, if you wake up in a windowless room, and you don't know if it's morning or night or noon or, whatever, people go insane. Maybe it doesn't matter so much if you... Maybe, okay, the windowless bedroom apartments, perfect if you work the night shift. Perfect. Like, couldn't ask for more. Everyone else, though, don't want that. But yeah, that's just to come back around to like the main like real implications of the discussion. It's why every office building in downtown Boston doesn't have apartments in it instead, because you can't make freaking money off office space post-COVID. Who goes to the office? And I know that's an exaggeration. There are lots of companies that are mandating return to office, those wackos. For one reason or another. I'm not actually going to weigh in on whether office is good or bad. I have personally very mixed feelings because I don't dislike going to the office. I just also really like not going to the office. At any rate, forgot to say that I tried out Trainz 2019 on a PC that can somewhat handle it. That's always good. Somewhat handling it is good. I say this every time 2019 gets brought up, and I know that it's like, oh no, well no, you've made the wrong decision. That's not what I'm trying to say. 2022 is a straight upgrade to 2019 in every single way. It is such a minute, iterative improvement that you would think it's nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. It is the kind of thing where it's exactly what people complain about, but also in a good way. And I'll use the phrase, but good, actually. It is just a straight upgrade. Like, they took 2022 and they just went, how can we fix this? They didn't, like, add anything new to it. I mean, yeah, Trainz Plus, MPS, blah, blah, blah. But they didn't functionally add anything new to the base game. They just made it better. And sort of like the fairy thing. It's like, isn't this what you were asking for? You just wanted them to fix stuff. They did. Now they broke it again, but that's beside the point. Apartments are way too expensive. Personally, I would take a terrible windowless apartment if it were cheap, says Matt. And, like, you and so many people, right? You and so many people. But that's the problem. It's that people could theoretically make these just utterly garbage apartments. Apartments that make you want to kill yourself and others if you spend too much time in them. Because, like, Yeah, you'll say it. You'll take it, and I don't disagree. I don't think you're lying, obviously, but I think we underestimate the kind of effects that being in a windowless apartment would have on you. Um, Again, I highlighted the waking up and not knowing what time it is, not knowing what time of day it is, but also not getting any natural light. Like if you work outside, that's fine, ish, but like no vitamin D in the house, you're gonna be vitamin D deficient. You're gonna go crazy. Like I can't tell you how much of a like better feeling person I was on vitamin D supplements. It makes a difference and you don't even notice. It's insidious. It's like, wow, I am depressed. And then you get vitamin D supplements and you go, "Oh, well that's why I was depressed." And like that's not the only reason why people are depressed, obviously, but the point is it takes a toll on your psyche in a way that is hard to pinpoint because you are a terrible control group for yourself, for your own misery. Um, you know, uh, yeah, I'm staying with 2019 or I die until I die or the download station gets removed. Yeah, that's fine. Like that's why I just have to say it for anyone who might be listening and is seeing you grab 2019 and go, "Oh, like I should do that." It's like if you don't have it yet, don't get it. Get 22 instead. Um, it performs better. Like it's not even it's a more modern version, so you need more modern software. No, 1-to-1, same hardware. 2022 ran better. And anecdotal, I know, I don't love anecdotal evidence, but that's what I have for you today. Um, but yeah, I feel like being in a windowless apartment will take a toll on most people's psyche in a given amount of time. Maybe not immediately. If it's just a stopover between, moving out of your parents' house and getting someplace with windows that's more permanent, um, then so be it. Like, it's not the end of the world. But the thing is, if if we say that a crappy windowless apartment is okay, right? That sets a bar real low. And Matt, I know that you've probably watched enough Well There's Your Problem and talked to the rest of the four foamers enough to glean this, particularly Hemlock. I'm sure would be very insightful on the idea um, that it's like you can't set the bar that low. You need to set the bar higher because people who want to make money will do the bare minimum to to keep somebody housed, to make money off of someone else's housing, someone else's basic need for lodging. And if we say that a windowless apartment is acceptable, uh, then say goodbye to getting a apartment with a reasonable amount of windows at a reasonable rate. I know that's a little bit slippery slope fallacy. I don't really mean it to be. But what I mean to say is we need to set the standard higher than that so that people don't get stuck with that. If you allow those kind of things onto the market, they're not going to be cheaper than the cheapest thing. They're just going to become the cheapest thing. So having a mandate for number of windows and rooms with windows is really important. But I agree that apartments are way too expensive. Of course, I'm not going to get all socialist here and talk about rent controls and all that, but I could. There are smarter people, other people that that you can sort of educate yourself on, like how might we bring rents down, and part of that is simple Keynesian economics: build more supply, but that doesn't mean build a bunch of windowless apartments out of office buildings. I am personally not sure how they are going to turn the Superman building into apartments. Now, the Superman building, tallest building in Rhode Island, very cool, iconic. I would drop it into Gilson City if I had it in Trainz. If anyone wants to make that, like, pull it out of Google Earth into SketchUp and then throw it into DLS, I will 100% put it in Gilson City. If you look up the Superman building, you find what I'm talking about. It's also known as a bit of a mouthful. I think it's the Industrial Trust Bank building or Industrial National Trust building, something like that. Um, I have had several relatives that have worked there over the years. It was a bank. It was offices for a bank. At the end of its life as a commercial building, it was Bank of America owned it, I believe, and then it was sold to a development corporation when they moved out, and they've just sort of sat on it for over a decade. It is the tallest building in Rhode Island. It's also the tallest abandoned building in Rhode Island. Functionally abandoned anyway. Recently, in the last couple of years, there's been movement on converting it into apartments. It is very centrally located. It is literally across the street from the bus hub for the state, and like a quarter mile from the train station and the mall and everything else. It's in the middle of downtown Providence. It's, location, location, location. You talk about the Superman building, it's in a really great spot. It thankfully does not have what I guess we might, since I brought it up earlier, what I might term the World Trade Center problem. And of course, I'm not talking about anything to do with aircraft. The World Trade Center problem, where the floors are very broad and there is no internal light, internal windows. I guess. I don't really know how to phrase it exactly, but I think you know what I mean. You have a big square building with windows around the outside and none in the middle. Like I was talking about earlier. Thankfully, yeah, that aged well. Yeah, exactly. Thankfully, the Superman building is a little greebled. And I know that's not really the appropriate term, but I'm going to use it. For the record, greebling, and I feel like I should be covering words that I bring up that might be a little bit esoteric. I said something earlier, and I just had to stop and think like, crap, people might not know what the hell I'm talking about. Listen, if I say something and your first reaction is, huh? Say that in the chat, and I'll explain myself. But greebling is like the sci-fi thing where spaceships are all bumpy on the outside. If you look at like a real spaceship, they don't look like that. If you look at the space shuttle and like real spaceships, they have to be aerodynamic, so they're not allowed to be greebled. But if you look at even the ISS, well, no, the modules mostly went up in, like, never mind. You know what? The problem is we don't have spaceships, right? Which is a big problem. We should rectify that, get the Space Force on it. No, in seriousness, the building's a little greebled. The building has it's not just a big slab side, it's stepped. And yeah, that presents still a problem for the lower levels, but as you get closer to the top, there are fewer areas that are very far from windows. So I would imagine, and I know some of them are going to be luxury units, so they're going to be fairly large. You can get away with that with a luxury unit. You can have interior rooms because you have enough rooms that are exposed to the outside, and also you don't run into the problem of like, we're going to put this on the market for less than bottom dollar. We're going to redefine what the cheapest apartment is, and the market is going to reorient itself, and the apartments with windows are just going to get more expensive. You don't have that problem as much when you're making luxury units. Making any kind of units does make an effect in the market, you know. Some people look down on isn't the term I'm trying to use, but have a dislike of building more luxury apartments because they think, well, those are catering to a clientele that, you know, it's gentrification. They're catering to a clientele that aren't going to be, you know, that isn't going to affect the bottom line of the people that are struggling. And the counterpoint to that is, and there isn't, I haven't done, I haven't sat and like read studies about this, obviously, but I did take, a couple economics courses, etc. It doesn't. It just means that I'm in a weird place in the Dunning-Kruger graph, and I probably don't know what I'm talking about. But I would like to think that the people decrying making more apartments because they're luxury apartments are seeing less of the picture than I am. I would like to think, but I don't know. In my uneducated opinion, perhaps. Hello, Chris. Hello, me from the future watching this VOD because I slept the first 2 hours of stream and just got here. Damn it. That's alright. Welcome to the party. If you build more luxury units, right, it still adds to the pool of supply. And in doing that, you allow people to sort of move up and open up the next level down. Basically, if you're making luxury units and they're getting filled, it's fine. It's fine. You're doing fine. If you're making luxury units and they are sitting empty because market demand is for the cheaper stuff only, then yes, you have a problem and you've built the wrong kind of apartments. But almost everything is selling up immediately these days. Is selling out immediately these days. There's nothing, as far as I'm aware, there aren't things on the market that are just sitting there like rocks. Sitting empty, right? We can build buildings, yeah. But yeah, to come back to it, we can build buildings like the Empire State Building. I mean, if you look at the Industrial National Bank building, if you look at the Superman building, there's a bit of a resemblance there, and it's solely because of the step back sort of nature of the thing. We've worked on this river this entire time. This entire time we've been doing scenery along the river. We need to do something else. I'm sorry, but we need to do something else. I'm really enjoying this, but we need to take a break. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a fence that I like, and I'm just going to fill in all of this. Not barbed wire. I want like a wooden fence. Fence wood barrier. No, not like that. I want a fence where you can't see your neighbors, almost. Okay, so yeah, like so. Okay. Anyway, my point is, more apartments equals more gooder. We're in a tremendous housing crisis, if you haven't noticed. And like my goal was not to soapbox. Naturally, my goal was to just sort of talk about, well, the Superman building. And that leads into housing because it's being redeveloped. Okay. I think I'm going to leave that one. And I'm just going to, basically I'm just drawing lines here. And it's going to be terribly bland and uninteresting, but I just need it to look a little bit better. Yeah, these are very, very long and narrow yards. Like, these are exaggerated long and narrow yards. Tremendous housing prices? Simply just squat. It's the financially responsible thing to do. Yeah. Well, I mean, in fairness, if you had squatted in the Superman building for like the last 10 years, they might not have noticed. They might not have noticed or cared. So, maybe you should do that. This is not financial advice. Okay. Or life advice of any kind. I don't need to take a grand jury. I don't need to be addressing something in the grand jury because I don't need to step out of a hearing because I know the person who was arrested for being in the abandoned building, and I'm the one that told them to do it. So, don't do that. Okay. Yeah, we're just going to do this. Okay. let's do this. I'm like, I apologize. Chris, you were sleeping for the last 2 hours. Does your bedroom have windows by chance? Just to come back to that. We'll come full circle. What's amazing is there was a bunch of other stuff that I was talking about and wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about how this is just like a gaming achievement. Why do I have 7 pings? Gaming achievement for me. I made a 3-win streak in Noita, which is, if you haven't played the game, very hard. Rhode Island to ruin jury duty. No, don't ruin it for me. I'm enjoying it. I have been exhausted though from jury duty. I think I've worked harder in jury duty than I have ever worked at work and at school. Like, for whatever reason, I care a lot. I could be a professional juror. They should hire me for that. Well, it's $25 a day. They shouldn't hire me for that. I would starve to death.
25 bucks adds up.
Not when you're spending it on food every day.
What, they pay you in cash?
No, but, you know, you still need to eat every day, right? Don't you? Yeah, that's a yes. How many brownies are missing now? Silence. Interesting. Sure. Anyway. I just gotta get this done and we can call this stretch done. And I'm just gonna paint the ground, like, green. Also, RHOADE. Nice, Mopac. Steal food. I'm gonna be standing out on a street corner. Please help, starving juror. Anything helps. Will sell trading cards for money. I mean, yes, I will. Buy trading cards.
Hold on, I got a better one. We'll make you a custom badge for $20.
Well, yeah, $20 is $20. I'm working on 2 custom orders right now for the Iowa Interstate engines. Which, or for the Iowa Interstate QJs, specifically. It's an interesting situation because the Steam locomotive page is incomplete. And that's one of those where I feel like I'm surprised that the Steam locomotive page is incomplete. It seems like something that would have been, like, we would have easily had those numbers. Same thing with the SY page, though. Also, there's a second SY page, Mr. President, now. And it's also just as wrong as the first one. Like, I need to, like, send in my corrections. I need to reorganize a dossier, and, like, all of the notes and things. I also need to make it read-only because they kept responding on the dossier, and I never saw the responses until I just happened to reopen it. I'm afraid to open my 7 pings. I have 1 in fan chat. Brett, I know he's in here somewhere. What are you talking about? What is going on? What do you want? What do you want him for? No, never mind. When is that happening? Because I have things to send. When is what? Wait, what? I lost it. When is what happening? I lost it. I looked away for a second and I have no idea what I just said 5 minutes ago. Okay, let's do this. Hi, baby. Is that my,
No,
Oh, okay.
it's my bug.
Oh, okay. What is he doing? I am also looking forward to working on your story on Monday. My phone is just so unhappy with everything these days.
It's charging. I don't know why
It's charging. Matt said stick an X-Acto knife in there. I might do. Okay. See, this is why. This is mind-numbing. I enjoyed doing their riverbanks more. I might honestly copy this and spin it and put it back down on the other side or something. but I like doing the random stuff. Okay. When is that happening? Because I have things to send. I was talking about trading cards. I mentioned trading cards. Um, anyway, speaking of trading cards, I do also need to get back to doing more Royales TM or other Loco games. It's gonna be another set of Royales next after Batch 4 is out to sort of drum up some support. Might do a Celebrity Royale. That'd be kind of a cool thing to do as a promotional stunt. Um, should do Jeopardy again. Jeopardy's hard. Like, that's why I haven't done Jeopardy again. Because coming up with the questions is hard. And once people have seen them, cat's out of the bag. Uh, I am not making a Thomas the Tank Engine Jeopardy question set. You can do that if you want. I've got all the VHS tapes downstairs. I've got the VHS tapes and I've got the Railway series, big multi-part book that I used to read as a kid. You can go through all those and come up with your questions.
No.
Be my guest. I'd love to see you host Jeopardy. Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway, yeah. So Iowa Interstate Engines, they're getting special orders. Um, oh, you said about the dossier. I assume you meant about the dossier. And yes, that's soon TM sort of thing. I've been making like a makeshift one as I've gone through, and the thing is, it's like doing the dossier is very unexciting, and if it's not stuff that I'm thinking about right then, it's never gonna make it in. Um, I should sort of make a Google form or something that I can then compile. But the thing is, if you find an error on a steamlocomotive.com page, you can respond on the page. Every single entry has a little speech bubble thing that you can just make a comment on the entry if you have stuff, right? Um, or whatever, or just send stuff to Stephen West. What's amazing is uh, SteamLocomotive.com got brought up on the most recent Montezuma stream this past Tuesday, which I popped in because I popped in off camera while Mark was taking the phone call because I was in utter disbelief that it was happening, uh, and I just had to chime in. But I digress. The Yeah, the SteamLocomotive.com, the Loco base, is getting some publicity now. It's getting more publicity, and in his most recent email to me, Steve, who's the guy who does the Loco base end of things, not the website end of things, he said, like, I'm glad that you were providing publicity to this because if it weren't for you, outside of like a handful of people, no one would know about this. Uh, and that's just super cool. Like that acknowledgement, but also just like big respect to Steve for making the Loco base, and he pours his heart and soul into that thing. He, so like, if you are ever writing in a correction, please be respectful. Number one, be respectful, be chill, as some would say, and get your point across civilly. That's important. Okay, let's do this and then that. Okay, we've got fences. The fact that they're identical kind of sucks, but we got fences. I was not going through and doing individual fences for all that. Like, it wasn't happening. Um, okay. I also still think I'm going to use this block, but just the once. Just because I have it. Okay. What's next? Got our school. Something else we need is a town pool, right? Like that's a staple. We need a ball field and a town pool. Like this is one thing, but we need like a sand lot, right? I think I made one of those, one or two of those in Olive. Excuse me. But let's see, it's 9:23. We started more or less on time. Sort of a question of how much longer do I feel like doing this. Um, and can I replace all of these roads with macadam? That's another thing. We have, you know, like I said, maybe one more mill complex to make. And I'm not entirely sure what it's going to be, but I'm not entirely sure what any of this stuff is going to be. We have to figure this out. This elementary school that I put down here, and I put the thing in, and then I went to put in the ball field, and or the football field doesn't really fit. At least I found some better stands, but part of me is figuring this has got to be some kind of industrial lead, right? This and probably this. But this doesn't have to peel off here, even though I like the way it looks. It can just be a... You know, if we think about it, right? If we think about it. These two tracks, like this is not great for a passenger station. And you would probably have had a second track that went down this way. And into here. I mean, if we've got two tracks at the passenger station, right? Hello, Matty boy. If we've got two tracks at the passenger station, then it's not out of the question that there would have been two tracks all through here. And so, I mean, we're talking right here, even. I mean, you can maybe see the remnants of that sort of thing through here. And then this curve through here, and you know, this whole thing. Although maybe not, because this is the end of the railroad. But the point is, I think we probably would have had two tracks through here at some point, based solely on the fact that this station is built on this track and not this one. However, if we think about it, we could also assume that maybe this line originally tapped into this track, and it was shifted over for sanity's sake later. Either way, I think it makes sense to add a small stretch of track here that's going to be parallel to this. Kind of close. Straighten it before we go any further. And then actually tie it into here. And beyond that, probably not tie it into there so much as keep that parallel track up to the bridge. Now this is the problem, because the track is going to be very, very close to the bridge. The switch stand is going to be right on the edge. And if I scoot this back, it's just going to be... I'm asking for trouble in making it double. Now, if we connect that, right, that's some real wooden brio track switch. Like, we not doing that. What I am doing is I'm going to scoot this as far as I can that way, which, even still, that's very short. That's like not even... That's like a number 2 turnout or something, like absurd. Scoot this way. Scoot this way. So that we still have that straight section, because without it, stuff's just going to break. And let's go a little further. And just try to blend it, if at all I can, Scoot that like that. And it's still a tight turnout, but it's not the end of the world. Now, this also could probably get relocated a little closer, like that. That would help. And now the thing is, I don't actually want this. I don't want that switch pulled off of there. What I want is this switch here out onto what would basically be a third track, and that going into the industry. Instead of instead of having this be the diverging on a switch, because that just, the track crew would be mad at me. Let's see, search spline point. Let's delete that because I know that industry is not staying. Not where it is anyway. Let's grab this and let's put this right there. Straighten it. This is one of the first times I'm doing track solely in Surveyor 2. It's not bad. Just not super used to it. I also want to pull this back to here. Oh, shoot. Okay. Yeah, that's good enough. And that's going to lead into the industry there. So now we have the ability for a train coming this way. That's really interesting. Those are, I guess, by default whistle posts. Train coming this way to come onto this track and avoid a train waiting in the station, or perhaps a train that is coming this way and getting ready to head out onto the line. It's a very short passing siding, but in theory, you could hold a small train here that had come in from the yard to let another train go in towards the yard. Now, with the volume of traffic on this railroad, I don't know if that would ever happen, but it might, you know? This area looks pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. We gotta get some cars in the parking lots. That's one of the things that we're missing. I know I gave up on cars in driveways a long time ago, but we gotta get the cars in the parking lots. This area's gotta get done. This, I still don't know what the hell I'm doing with. We need a sidewalk sort of thing. We need a really wide one, actually. How about this? Yeah, that works. Oh, it's hovering. In the stripped clue... Oh. Thanks, Bender. Thank you, Bender. Okay. This is, yeah. I mean, that's a walkway, alright. That's an unpedestrian-friendly walkway, but it is what it is. This is also... apparently counts as a road, so if we see a car appear on this, we're going to have to fix something. We're going to have to do something about that. We still don't know what half of these industries are doing. We need to set up the multiple industries, which, as I mentioned before, are kind of the only... Hello, Orion. Kind of the only industries that work now, that we can modify easily, which means we're going to have to do some shenanigans with Invisible Track. We'll burn that bridge when we come to it. But man, am I looking forward to running some trains through here. Also, I'm also looking forward to fixing this, because that's too close to the main line. There we go, that's better. 6 tracks next to one another. Wow. We got the strip mall. I think I downloaded more strip mall stuff last time. At least for the next 2 hours, 29 minutes. Good evening. Oh, I get it. I was like, I'm not going to be here for another 2 hours and 29 minutes. You crazy? I've been here for 2 hours and 29 minutes. Okay. So we got this. We have our jank bridge, which, yeah, we just, it's fixed. It's fixed. Um, we have our fence post city. I could go through and like swap some of these with things, but honestly, I'm not gonna bother. Let's just paint the ground under these, which I think is going to be not that. That can be in like the areas in between, right? Um, what about the Feld 15? How does that look for lawns? No, nope. Back to Erba 3 then. It's a good one. Handful of those one double bridges locally. Most can be found west of Lima on the old PRR main line. Yeah, there's a lot of them around, which is why I really wanted to model one. Even though in this case that bridge would not have been like that for very, or it would not have been double tracked for very long. It would have been initially built and then pretty much immediately wound down into single track. And the thing we don't have is all of the answers, right? And it's sort of intentional. It's sort of unintentional. It's something that I haven't quite thought about too much, which is where it bridges that gap. Um, the the area around, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, the area through here is sort of in a state of limbo where the past is very evident in some respects, but otherwise it is not. And I don't really intend to go back and rectify that. I don't intend to go through and develop track charts for the before and after or the intermediate phases or, this year, that year. But I suppose I could. It's not outside of my ability to do so. Just, it's sort of outside my ability to spend time on it, though. Is what that's the obvious, I suppose. Let's do this, and let's fill this in like so, off the road. Okay. Now we have a row of row houses. I mean, I could dot in some other dirt and stuff, but honestly, we've got so many of those to do, I'm not sure I'm going to bother. They're all going to look very samey, it's just the way it is. We've got 25 minutes left. What do we want to do with that time? We've got this river to do. Oh, we've got this bridge. I'm not sure I know what I want to do here. I'm not sure I know what I want to do here. I mean, I can look at the other culverts that we've done and think about that, or I can do less of a bridge, more of a culvert, is I guess what I'm getting at. But we still are going to have to put in retaining walls of some description without a lip. Or maybe with a lip. Let's see if we can make this easy. Whoa. Oh. No. Not the right thing. Oh, they're corners because we're in the thing. That's why. AJS retaining wall. No, that looks ugly. BDW retaining wall. How about that? I mean, the BDW stuff is always very good. That doesn't look half bad if I turn it around. It looks like it could be culvert related. It's passable. Is this tall enough, though? Let's find out. Nope, wrong thing. There we go. Oh, and I appreciate how it ducks down at the ends. That's good. Oh, that's not it ducking down. That's it being chakwad. That's being stuck up at one end. Okay. Now, retaining wall number 2. Is this one wider? No, it's just slightly different. This is way too low. Bang ding ow. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty retaining wall. Doesn't... It's not that bad. Let's see what we have for culvert pipes, though. Let's see if we can make it look good with the culvert pipes. Culvert. Oh, we have culvert bridges, too. About this. And, oh, okay, so the problem is obviously that you can see that that's not a thing. Drainage ditch culvert. Oh, wow. Oh, that's really cool. Oh my god, that's so cool. We're gonna have to use that all the time. I'm gonna put that right there. Nope, wrong thing. This thing. Oh man, that's awesome. Um, what about this? Ooh, that's really nice. This one is a narrow one, and that is a wide one. Now, these are both very nice. We cannot use either of them because they're not right for this. But, we're not barking up the wrong tree. Let's take you and let's do it over again on this side. Because, I mean, oh, I grabbed grass. I grabbed grass. Yeah, that's the wrong way. Every time, wrong way around. Interesting how that happens. Let's grab this and apply it and apply it. I think this area is flat. Actually, I don't think it's flat. I think it's close to flat, but not flat. It's close enough, though. It seems to be. Okay, scoot that in closer to the road edge. And I think what I'm going to have to do is put another one also wrong way and in the wrong spot. Another one here just to fill in the gap. Like, I don't like doing that, but to fill in the gap, it might be necessary. And I might have to actually make it sort of double-sided. Okay. Nope, I don't want to do that. Yeah, it needs to be high, like as high as I can make it without, yeah, that. Okay. And there. And I'm gonna spin this one around. Let me guess. Wrong way. Yup! Every single time the wrong way. Having fun, TJ?
Stepping on the dog, yeah.
No. Sometimes he gets in the way. Gets kicked in the head.
Hey.
Okay. There we go. Oh, that's too high. Oh, shoot. Okay. Can lower that a little bit. Expose that. And then we need to make this look intentional. To quote another Wes Anderson favorite of mine, just make it sound like you wrote it that way on purpose. Okay. Okay. This year seems to be good for museum ship. We got one coming out of dry dock, one almost done, and one going in. None of which are the USS the Sullivans. Yeah, that's, yeah. I mean, it already sunk. What more can you ask? Okay, problem. This is very too wide. In fact, I might even leave it, you know? Uh, because, yeah, I might leave it. Oh, shoot. Let's have it be 3 pipes through. Let's do this. This is a very bad culvert, by the way. Don't, if you're a hydro engineer, don't do this. Okay. But you know, there it is. We've got our big culvert. It looks terrible, honestly. I don't like it. Is one of these like subsiding or something? Why does it look like this? Oh, because it's a straight line that way. Ah. Oh, does that mean I can... Does that mean I can do this? Nope, wrong thing. Does that mean I can do this? And make it look less terrible? Yes. Yes, it does. Very cool. Okay. I wish I had this as a spline, just this wall. Although, now that I think about it, I could just do this. I want it lower than that. Nope. Other way around. I want to grab the lower number and apply it to the higher number. Ooh, idea. I need another spline point. Right. No, not right there. Need it right. There. Look how well that lines up. How cool is that? Okay, what the hell are you barking at, dude? What do you hear /C? We're going to jump into 2.0 to move this spline point over. Just for the reduced headache. There we go. That makes it look a little better. Still looks bad with the culvert pipes being the way they are, but it does look a little bit better. And it continues this wall formation along the whole edge, which, you know, my interior decorator likes that. We almost have this whole stretch to the road here done, which means we almost have a continuous line of scenery if you include the yard from here to here, which, wow, that's a big deal. Closing that gap, and then it's just, you do scenery like an amoeba, right? You just reach out and you enclose something, and then you fill that area in, and then you reach out and you enclose something else, and you fill that area in. This area is great, and I cannot wait to run Trainz through it at 3 frames per second. Okay. And I don't really know what to do for the next 10 minutes. I'm not like, there's nothing else that I can just jump to really quick, so maybe I'll just poke around and look for more buffer stops that need buffer stopping. More sidings that need buffer stops. I saw a couple. I don't know where they were, but I saw them. This one, nope, that has a signal, that's fine, that's where I should go. This one, Which, honestly, I'm not even sure if I'm giving it enough room. Maybe the tail track should be a little longer. This one. Yep. And then this one. Yeah, this is the one that I think I noticed, actually. There. Did we get these earlier? No, I didn't. Wow, I'm surprised at myself. All the times that I went through and did buffers, I missed those. Bust my buffers. Okay. Any other ones in this vicinity that need it? How about over here? I didn't... No, wait, over here? Did we add... No, we didn't for these ones. These tracks. And then this little switching puzzle area with a door that leads right to it. Sounds basic. I'm surprised no one has made a simple gravel mound and crossed tie stop yet. I bet that's a thing. Let's just, oops, wrong thing. No. Back to Surveyor Classic. I bet I have that. Actually, I can think of something similar. Tie. Tied arch bridge. What? Oh, pillar. Hold on. Incompatible spline? What? I don't know what that is. These are all T-side objects, right? Oh wow, that's interesting. Really? There's no, like... What about rail end? Signal rail ends. No, not that one. I do like that one. Ah! Here's this. Oop. I went into human person mode. That's actually fairly detailed. Bridge end concrete. There's another sleeper end. More of those. There's this one. That's always been a favorite of mine. Although you're right, I don't see a gravel pile one. I guess that's too big. But yeah, I mean, I will probably use those in other areas, just not here. These guys don't have it. Let me... These are the little things. It's going to be a million years before we start doing... well, on the areas that we already have scenic, we can jump in and do switch stands. Now, the thing is, and Mason did this, and I'd like to crib on his notes. I'd like to crib off his notes. Off? On? I don't know. I'd like to copy. He had a scheme for the colors for the switch stands. Like what meant what. Diverging, normal, etc. I've had some very rudimentary ones, but I don't have anything locked in. And when we go through and nuke the AI, we have the perfect opportunity to redo the redo all of the switch stands, make sure the numbers and letters and everything are standard, and then build some subroutines that I hope will work. Everything we have right now is pretty bunk. I mean, it's good, but I'm going to change some things. I'm going to change some indications and this and that. I will keep it all, but I'll probably name it old or something. Anyway. Let's do some glamour shots, right? This is as good as it's gonna look, pretty much. This area's got grass. Hi, pup. This area's almost done. There's only one, like, space missing over there. Here is the Y. Or, yeah, I mean, it is a Y. It's a Y with a track going through the middle of it. What is it, Lafayette? He's upset about something. And this is, you know, pretty much the area that we have done. I mean, it's not a lot. It ain't much, but it's honest work. This area, I think, is going to look great, honestly. I already get a really cool feeling when I look this way. Down river here. Needs a small little boat in that lake. Yeah, canoe or skiff. I mean, I did put a little launch here. This is not the kind of place that you'd want to be fishing or boating, though. With all the industrial runoff, I would assume that people are highly encouraged. Do not go in this water by any, for any reason. At any rate, I think I'm going to round it off here before the pizza gets super cold, and I will see you next week. This is the Admiral, signing off.